Dear beloved, the word Aum is the primal sound of creation. In the beginning, before time, before light, before the stars were born, there was no form, no direction, no breath. Only silence vast and deep, like a womb of stillness holding the mystery of what would become. And into that silence, from the unfathomable depths of the Absolute, came the first ripple, the first vibration. Aum is a cosmic utterance and the living pulse of the eternal. The ancient rishis of India heard it. In the quiet of meditation, where the outer senses fall away and the inner sky opens, they perceived a sound that was always there, humming beneath the fabric of existence. Aum was the sound current of creation, the vibration from which all forms, thoughts, and universes emerge. In the Mandukya Upanishad, one of the oldest spiritual texts, it is said that Aum encompasses all states of consciousness, the waking state, Jagrat, where the soul experiences the world through the senses. The dreaming state, Swapna, wherein a vision shapes subtle realities. The deep sleep state, Sushupti, where individuality dissolves into the unmanifest. And beyond these three, there is the silence after Aum, Turiya, the fourth state, the eternal stillness from which all arises and to which all returns. In this way, Aum is not only the sound of creation, but the map of consciousness itself. Chanting Aum stir the solar plexus fire which calls forth your desires from the quantum field. Chanting and breathing in the word Aum stirs an inner fire in the solar plexus that attracts all that you desire, the sacred fire of Aum, a mystical contemplation in the ancient stillness. Before thought, war, language and time drew maps upon the stars, there echoed a primordial sound, Aum. It was not merely a vibration of breath or tongue, but the pulse of existence itself, spiraling outward from the source. It breathed galaxies into being and rippled across the cosmic sea, touching all that was, all that is, and all that ever shall be. The sages of the Vedic dawn knew this. They did not merely chant Aum, they entered it, became it, and let it awaken within them the sacred fire known as tapas, the subtle heat of divine yearning. This heat was of the soul, the solar flame that dwells in the plexus, the sacred altar beneath the ribs, where divine desire and personal will converge. When you chant Aum, you are not simply reciting sound, you are invoking the living code of the universe. You are striking the bell of creation within yourself, and the vibration flows downward like golden nectar to the solar plexus. And there, the fire begins to stir. This inner fire is creative. It is the heat that calls the formless into form, the prayer that attracts its own answer, the beacon that signals your readiness to receive. In the wisdom of the ancients, desire was never a flaw but a current of the divine. Remember deeply the abundance you are made from. The solar plexus, warmed by the breath of Aum, becomes a portal, a chalice, a radiant sun within, broadcasting your desires to the quantum field. And the quantum responds because it recognizes you as co-creator. Desire is remembrance. The fire within is magnetism. As you chant Aum, you awaken. You summon. You align. You magnetize. You are summoning the mirrored echo of your own divine flame. So sit, breathe, chant. Let Aum rise like dawn through your being. Let the fire in your solar plexus burn gently, a sacred hearth where the divine listens. Let your desires ride its flame like incense on the wind. For in this sacred breath, all that you seek is already on its way. This is the ancient way. This is the ancient circuitry the rishis spoke of mystical. A subtle wiring of perception that connects the inner world of longing with the outer world of manifestation. The sages understood that the I, when fused with tapas, becomes a conduit for shaping reality. It doesn't just see the world, it transmits feeling into it. It impresses desire into the field and reflects that desire back as experience. When the single eye is directed through the heat of tapas, it sharpens into clarity. It stops wandering. It begins to perceive with sacred precision. And in this convergence, of desire, heat, and vision, the soul begins to co-create with the divine. You are wired with this same circuitry. Your eye, when focused through emotions, through the heat of longing for truth, for beauty, for abundance, becomes luminous. It sees probabilities as possibilities. It sees seeds in the unseen. And it draws them forth with the gravity of intention. The eye that feels is the forgotten tool of the mystic. It is the organ of perception that speaks directly to the quantum fabric. It bypasses logic. It burns with tapas. And through it, desire condenses into experience. So gather your vision. Hold it gently in the flame of your longing. Let your inner heat rise with sacred stillness. Let your single eye look inward in radiance. And from that fire, let creation respond. Close your eyes. Begin to slow your breath. Inhale, gently. Exhale, fully. Let your shoulders drop, your face soften. Bring your awareness inward, toward the center of your body. Now draw your attention to your solar plexus. The sacred center beneath your rib cage. Feel into that space. It is warm, receptive, ancient. It is the altar of your desire, the seat of your divine will. Invocation of Aum, and now, gently chant the sacred sound, Aum. Let it rise softly from your chest. Let it ripple through your solar plexus like golden waves. Breathe in again. Aum. With each breath, each chant, you awaken the inner fire. This fire is the fire of creation. The gentle heat of sacred longing, divine magnetism. See now a golden flame within your solar plexus. Glowing softly. Warming you from the inside out. This flame is the whisper of your soul's remembrance. You are calling home what is already yours. Feel this golden fire communicate with the quantum field. It sends out your intentions in waves of light. As declarations of alignment. Now silently or aloud, repeat, as I chant Aum, I awaken the fire of divine desire. This sacred flame draws abundance to me like breath to lungs. I am the magnet of my answered prayers. All that I desire is already forming in the quantum. I receive with grace. I give with radiance. Now, visualize the fire expanding slightly with each breath. Wise. Controlled, yet infinite. You are safe to desire. You are worthy to receive. You are ready to create. Chant again. Aum. 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 Each sound echoes into the universe. Each echo returns with blessings encoded in light. Begin to draw the light of this fire up into your heart. Into your throat. And into your mind. Let your entire being resonate with this luminous presence. Your breath is the bridge. Your will is the compass. Your fire is the magnet. And now, as you return, you carry the quantum signature of your abundance. Your field is open. Your path is blessed. The fire you stirred is eternal. It is the whisper of the universe within you. You only have to breathe, to chant, to receive. The sages knew that to chant Aum was to attune the instrument of the self to the frequency of the cosmos. The vibrations it generates move through the chakras, awaken the inner fire, and bring resonance between the soul and the source. Aum harmonizes the being, aligning thought, word, and breath with the eternal rhythm of the divine. In mystical traditions across time, echoes of Aum can be found, in the logos of the Greek philosophers, the divine word that shapes reality. In the beginning was the word of the Gospel of John. In the hum of galaxies, in the inaudible music of spheres, in the silent chant of stars. Aum is the original memory encoded in all matter. It is the first name of God, sound it. It is the seed syllable from which all mantras draw their power. When you chant Aum, you are returning. You are becoming the vessel through which the cosmos sings itself into being. You are touching the timeless, and letting it breathe through you. So sit still. Close your eyes. Let the breath settle. And from the center of your being, let it rise, A. You. M. And in the silence that follows, listen, for there, in that quiet, the entire universe begins again. In the hush before the worlds were formed, in that immeasurable stillness beyond sound and time, something stirred with intention. From the heart of the unmanifest came a breathless pulse, a vibration so pure, so whole, it gave rise to all becoming. That vibration was Aum, the primordial sound, the first resonance of the divine will echoing through the void. Aum emerged, like light from the sun, like heat from a flame. It was the word before language, the summons of form from formlessness, the sound of consciousness awakening to itself. And from Aum, arose tapas, the sacred inner heat, the intensity of divine longing, the pressure of desire pressing itself into being. In the ancient Vedic vision, tapas was the fire kindled by vision and will. It was the cosmic furnace into which Aum poured its vibration, and from which the worlds were forged. The seers of old knew this secret, that Aum was not only the sound that began creation, it is the sound that continues it. When chanted with awareness, Aum stirs the tapas within, awakening the fire of becoming that lives in the soul's core. That fire is what takes the formless feeling of desire and condenses it into form. Desire alone is vapor. Tapas alone is heat without aim. But when Aum is chanted, followed by a clear, soul-born desire, something ancient begins to stir. Aum becomes the summons, tapas becomes the forge, desire becomes seed. And through this trinity, reality bends. The ancient mystics taught that every true desire is a vibration seeking form. When we hold a desire in the stillness of meditation, then chant Aum, that vibration enters the field. But it is tapas, the sacred inner heat awakened by that chant, that gives it life. Tapas is the fire of manifestation, the compressive heat of longing, the spiritual gravity that draws the unmanifest into form. This is the secret behind mantra and fire, behind word and will. Aum is the doorway, tapas is the threshold, and your focused desire is the traveler. So sit still. Feel the longing rise, the deep, clear desire of the soul. Let it gather behind the eyes, in the breath, in the belly. Then open the inner voice, A. You. M. Speak your desire, as vibration. Let tapas answer with warmth. Let the sacred inner fire condense that vibration into reality. This is no superstition. This is the ancient art of creation. This is the circuitry of the soul aligned with source. Aum is not just sound. It is the pulse of God, the breath of becoming, the spark that ignites the fire within. And tapas, once summoned, will shape the world around you into the very image of the fire that burns within you. There is a stillness deeper than silence, a stillness from which all sound is born. In that stillness, when the breath slows and the mind sinks into the inner sanctum, a vibration begins to rise from the soul. That vibration is Aum. To chant Aum is not merely to repeat a sacred syllable, it is to align with the primal breath of creation, to enter the current that pulses through all things. It is to stand at the threshold between the seen and the unseen, and become a vessel for what longs to take form. As we meditate and chant Aum, something begins to stir, an inner fire, gentle at first, like an ember in the belly. This is the fire of desire, the pure desire of the soul to express its deepest truth. It is the longing to give voice to the sacred that sleeps within. Aum is the signal to the quantum field, the primordial sound that echoes through the unseen layers of reality. The quantum field does not respond to words as much as it responds to vibration, to coherence, to the clarity of felt intention. And when Aum is chanted from the stillness of meditation, it harmonizes the body, the breath, and the being, so that what we feel becomes broadcast as living frequency. In this space, our desires are not just thoughts, they are prayers encoded in sound, summoned by fire, and extended through silence into the field. Aum awakens the fire. The fire awakens the feeling. The feeling becomes the signal. And the field begins to respond. This is the secret of sacred invocation, that what you seek is already present in the quantum depths, waiting for resonance. When you chant Aum and hold your desire like a flame before the altar of stillness, you are calling. You are summoning the form that matches your frequency. The rishis knew. The mystics across time understood. That Aum is the summons, and desire, when fused with it, becomes destiny in motion. So enter the silence. Chant with devotion. Let the fire rise. And from that sacred place, speak your prayer in reverence. For Aum will carry it, and the field will shape it, and the universe will echo back the form of your flame. In stillness. Allow your breath to soften. Close your eyes. Let the mind fall gently into silence, like a star descending into the night sky. Breathe, and be here now. Prayer invocation, beloved source of all radiance and supply, infinite presence from which all things arise, I enter now into the sacred silence, where word becomes vibration, and vibration becomes light. I align myself with the primordial sound, the one that was before time, before form, the sacred syllable Aum, the breath of the cosmos, the pulse of divine will. Chant softly, inwardly or aloud, A. U. M. Feel the sound rise from the belly, move through the heart, and bloom in the crown. With each chant, I stir the sacred fire within. A gentle flame, ancient and holy, awakens in my solar plexus. This is tapas, the inner fire of becoming. The fire of my soul's true longing. The fire of divine desire. As the flame rises, I feel my desire come alive from the fullness of who I am. I call forth now the feeling of financial abundance, as a frequency, as a living current flowing from the infinite into my life. This desire is holy. It is gratitude in motion. It is the soul's natural yearning to expand, to create, to give, and to thrive. I chant again, A. U. M. Let the sound vibrate with your desire for abundance. As I chant, I become the signal. I become the broadcast of the very wealth I seek. The quantum field listens to my vibration, and I am becoming the vibration of overflow, of divine provision, of prosperity flowing freely into all aspects of my life. Visualize golden light descending like a waterfall from the heavens, pouring into the crown of your head, flowing down your spine, and pooling in the fire of your belly. This golden current answers the call of my fire. It brings with it visions, ideas, and strategies aligned with my abundance. It awakens divine connections. It rearranges the outer world to match my inner clarity. I give thanks, for I know that the field is already responding. The wave has already been released. The abundance I desire is already forming, already flowing toward me in perfect timing. A. U. M. One final chant, deep and resonant. I rest now in trust. I walk in the rhythm of divine provision. I am the vessel, and I am the flame. So be it. So it is. Sit in silence for a few moments, allowing the afterglow of the chant and the fire within to settle. Let your prayer ripple through the quantum field as a wave of light. You may return to this meditation often, each time stoking the fire a little more, and letting the sacred sound carry your invocations into form. Close your eyes. Breathe gently. Let your shoulders soften. Let your thoughts dissolve into stillness, like mist returning to the sky. You are safe here. You are ready. You speak now to the infinite with vibration. With breath. With presence. With sacred longing. As you inhale deeply, allow your awareness to sink into the space behind your navel. This is your inner altar. Here, the flame sleeps, waiting to be stirred. Now, chant softly with intention, A. U. M. Feel the sound emerge from your core. Let it ripple through your heart, through your throat, through your crown. With every vibration of AUM, you awaken something sacred, the inner fire of desire, the holy heat of creation. As you chant, your inner flame responds. It flickers. It breathes. It begins to rise. This is tapas, the sacred heat. This is the fire of your focused longing, the divine power that gives life to what you desire. You are no longer merely meditating, you are summoning. You are calling forth. You are activating the current of financial abundance from the quantum field. Now, let your desire rise, pure, clear, unburdened by fear. You align. You become the frequency of abundance itself. Say silently or aloud, I now call forth the vibration of financial overflow. I awaken the fire of divine provision within me. I am ready to receive. I am ready to give. I am ready to become a vessel of radiant prosperity. Chant again with this desire glowing in your heart, A. U. M. Let the sound become your signal. Let the field feel your flame. Your prayer, now fused with sound and desire, moves outward, through the subtle layers of reality, through unseen pathways, drawing to you opportunities, wealth, and wisdom. Now, rest in the afterglow. Feel the golden current of abundance flowing into you, down through your crown, pooling in your heart, igniting your solar plexus. Let this energy orbit through your being, magnetizing clients, ideas, money, support, and overflow. Feel yourself becoming the magnet of answered prayers. Say within yourself, I trust the field. I trust the timing. I trust the vibration I have become. Financial abundance is now aligned with me. And I walk forward in grace and certainty. One final chant, A. U. M. Let the sound seal your prayer like starlight. Let the fire remain kindled. You are knowing. So it is. So it always was. So it shall unfold. Rest in stillness. The field is already responding. Chanting AUM, awaken the inner fire, tapas, which summon from the quantum field. The flame of desire awakens as you chant AUM, a silent spark awakens in your belly. This is not ordinary desire, this is the desire seeded in the soul before birth. Let it rise. You are calling home the frequency of support. You are remembering that divine provision is your birthright. I awaken the fire of divine desire. I am ready to receive. The fire of worthiness as AUM resonates through your body, it melts every untruth you ever believed about worth. You feel the warmth rise through your solar plexus. You are worthy of abundance because you are aligned with it. I allow abundance to come because I am the flame it seeks. The signal of your soul with each chant of AUM, your vibration rises. You are no longer in thought, you are in signal. Your soul becomes a beacon of financial clarity, calling to all things aligned, ideas, income, impact. My soul sings the signal of wealth, and the field responds. The invitation of opulence, you chant AUM and feel the gates of the inner temple open. A golden light begins to flow toward you, as an invitation. You are invited to live in overflow. I receive financial abundance as a sacred invitation. The vibration of overflow, let AUM become your breath, and let your breath become abundance. You are not separate from the wealth you seek, you are its vibration in motion. I align with the overflow. I breathe in the current of wealth. The sacred yes, each time you chant AUM, you say yes to what is already yours. You give permission for the divine to bless you. You give form to the formless through your fiery yes. With each AUM, I say yes to abundance, yes to receiving, yes to flow. The quantum pulse as your inner fire rises, the quantum field listens. You are no longer wishing, you are transmitting. Each chant of AUM is a pulse sent out that returns as miracles and material blessings. My transmission is clear. I pulse abundance into form. The prayer in the flame, you light a fire each time you chant AUM. And in that fire, you place your prayer. You watch it rise like smoke and know the universe has already begun to answer. I place my prayer in the fire, and the field receives it. The current of prosperity AUM opens the channels. Energy begins to move where it once was blocked. You feel it, beneath the ribs, in the heart, behind the eyes. You are now a conductor of prosperity. I am a clear channel. Prosperity flows through me without resistance. The voice of the divine within, as you chant, you awaken the voice of the divine within. It speaks in knowing, in feeling, in vision. It tells you, abundance is you. I chant the truth into being. I am abundance embodied. The embodied light with AUM, golden light enters you. You feel it warming your hands, your spine, your breath. This light magnetizes all you need. You are the glow that draws wealth toward you. I glow with divine provision. All that I need is drawn to this light. The infinite invitation you chant and the quantum field opens like 1,000-petaled lotus. You step into infinite possibility. You only need to be in the vibration of yes. I walk into infinite supply. My heart stays open. My hands are ready. The offering of intention with each AUM, you offer your intention like incense to the unseen. You align with its arrival. You are no longer searching. You are expecting. I release the need to control. I align with divine arrival. The anchor in the unknown, you chant AUM to root yourself in the truth that abundance is always near. Even in uncertainty, the fire burns bright. You are safe. You are guided. You are held. In the unknown, I am anchored by trust. In the silence, I am met with supply, the return to origin. You end where you began, with AUM. The primordial sound that knows no lack. In chanting, you return to the origin of all things. And from the origin, all abundance is born. I return to source. From source, all my needs are fulfilled. Chanting AUM, awakening the sacred inner fire, tapas, which calls forth your prayers and desires from the quantum field. The awakening flame as you close your eyes and chant Aum, a flicker of sacred fire stirs in your being. You feel it, an ancient longing rising, not for wealth alone, but for divine provision. This flame knows the shape of your need before you speak it. And now, it begins to respond. As I chant Aum, the sacred fire awakens within me. It hears my prayer for abundance. Calling through the silence you sit in stillness, and in the vast silence between Aums, you call. Your desire is pure intent. The field hears it. The unseen responds. With each sacred breath, I summon provision from the invisible realms. The fire that forms each repetition of Aum stirs the inner flame deeper. This is tapas, the heat that shapes dreams into form. You feel your prayer gaining structure, moving from ether into matter. As I chant Aum, my desire is clothed in form. The quantum responds. The flame that knows your name deep within, your fire remembers what you have forgotten, that you were born in alignment with divine support. Aum is the sound that reawakens that memory. With Aum, I return to remembrance. I am one with divine supply. The invoked vision with each breath and vibration, you feel your inner eye open. You no longer wish, you see. You see the flow. You see the provision. You see the path. Aum opens my vision to abundance. What I see, I now receive. Breath of the infinite Aum is the breath of the cosmos echoing through you. You are not separate from the universe, you are its extension. And abundance is your reflection. I chant Aum and remember, I am the breath of the infinite, and it provides for me. The sacred pulse each Aum is a pulse sent out, a wave into the field that begins to gather form. You speak with fire. I pulse my prayer through Aum. The quantum field gathers to meet me. The holy yes your fire is agreeing. Each Aum is a yes to what already exists in higher realms. Your wealth is already alive in the unseen. I say yes to what already is. I align, and it flows. The golden river as Aum hums through your body, you feel golden currents forming, flowing through your chest and hands. You are in the stream of divine wealth. I chant Aum and enter the golden river of abundance. I am sustained. The rooted fire your desire grounds into the earth with sacred fire. It is no longer an idea, it becomes rooted will. You are both grounded and open. I root my desire through Aum. The earth carries it, and returns it in bloom. The celestial offering each chant is an offering to the unseen temples of light. You give your prayer, and in return, you receive blueprints, steps, inspiration. Aum is my sacred offering. The divine responds with abundance. The sacred mirror as you vibrate Aum with feeling, the field mirrors you. It reflects your fire, your faith, your readiness. You are now seen by the formless. What I feel, the universe mirrors. I vibrate with abundance, and it returns. The reignited soul you chant to awaken what is already within. Abundance is coded in your soul. Aum is the key that turns the flame. Within me is the wealth I seek. Aum unlocks it. Tapas shapes it. The conductor of fire you channel divine energy. You are the conductor, the vessel, the current. Through Aum, you light the path and become the magnet. I channel sacred fire through Aum. All provision flows toward this light. The return to source as you end your prayer in silence, you feel the fullness already here now. Aum has done its work. The field has heard. I rest in the stillness after Aum. What I seek has already begun its journey to me. Chanting Aum, awakening your sacred inner fire, tapas, which calls forth your prayers and desires from the quantum field. Aum, stirring the flame of abundance as you chant Aum, you awaken the sacred fire of desire within. This is divine longing, rising as heat in your being. You are calling forth abundance from the quantum well of infinite supply. With Aum, I summon the sacred flame. My soul ignites the abundance that awaits me. The breath that summons provision. Your breath carries more than oxygen, it carries your ancient prayer. As Aum flows through you, your breath becomes a bridge between longing and fulfillment. With every breath of Aum, I draw in divine provision. I breathe as the universe provides. The inner fire answers when you chant Aum, you are not alone. The fire within hears you. It rises to meet the sound, ready to shape your desire into form. My inner fire awakens. It gathers the unseen into the seen. Abundance responds. Aum, the echo of the infinite. Aum is the sound of the stars, the hum of creation. As you chant it, you align your prayer with the rhythm of the universe. I chant Aum, and the cosmos hears me. I am in tune with the current of prosperity. Tapas, the heat of manifestation. Feel the heat in your chest as you chant. That warmth is tapas, the sacred fire that condenses desire into matter. The warmth I feel is sacred. It is the force of creation shaping my wealth. Your voice as creation. Each Aum you chant vibrates through the quantum field. You are not simply speaking, you are invoking. You are architecting. My voice is the sound of creation. I chant Aum and wealth answers my call. From stillness to strategy within the silence after Aum, answers rise. Ideas, pathways, alignments, you are being shown the way. I receive divine strategy from the stillness. Aum opens the gates of inspired action. Sacred agreement. As you chant Aum, you are agreeing. You say yes to what is already yours in the unseen. Aum is my sacred yes. I agree with the flow of divine abundance. The fire in your belly. Place your hand over your solar plexus and feel it. This fire is ancient, it knows how to draw prosperity to you. I awaken the inner sun. I magnetize wealth through the heat of divine desire. The sound that speaks without words, even without language, Aum speaks. It speaks directly to the field, summoning what your heart already knows it is ready for. I chant Aum and the field hears my soul. It delivers abundance in response. Aum opens the treasury of heaven. Aum is the key that opens the treasury of infinite support. With Aum, I unlock heaven's abundance. All that I need flows to me now. The flame that makes matter. As your desire grows warm within you, it takes on structure. This is the sacred condensation of thought into form. My inner fire crystallizes abundance. What I feel becomes what I live. The divine pulse. With each Aum, you send a pulse into the quantum sea. Each pulse gathers, each ripple becomes a wave of return. My chant sends waves into the unseen. Financial blessing is returning to me. The temple within you. As you chant, your body becomes a temple, your heart an altar. Your desire is a sacred offering, received by the quantum light. I offer my prayer of wealth with reverence. It is heard and it is blessed. Receiving in radiance. After the chant, sit in the radiance. Feel what you've called forth already arriving. It is drawn to your light. I rest in the glow of answered prayer. My abundance is assured and already unfolding. As you meditate and chant Aum, you stir a desire, an inner fire, a divine heat of creation, that calls forth your invocations and prayers from the quantum field. The fire awakens in you as you chant Aum, a warmth begins to rise within. You are stirring the sacred flame of creation. Desire becomes light. Light becomes form. And form becomes your abundance. Aum ignites my divine desire. The fire within calls forth my prosperity. You breathe, and the universe listens with every breath of Aum. You send your soul's prayer into the fabric of existence. Your voice vibrates through the quantum field and returns to you multiplied. As I chant Aum, I breathe abundance into motion. All that I desire comes to meet me. The inner altar burns bright. Your heart is an altar, and desire is your sacred flame. As you chant Aum, you feed that fire with divine intention. I tend the inner flame with Aum. My offerings are received in the field of abundance. The cosmic ear is open. Aum is the language of the cosmos. As you speak it, you awaken your connection to the eternal listening presence. I speak in the voice of the stars. I call forth divine wealth through sacred sound. You become a living invocation with Aum. You don't just pray, you become the prayer. Your being radiates intent, and the quantum field answers in kind. I am the prayer. I am the flame. I am the field where abundance blooms. Heat condenses into form. Tapas, the sacred heat, builds within you. This is creation. As your desire burns, it becomes tangible. My fire shapes my wealth. What I feel, I now receive. Aum clears the channels as you chant, old resistances dissolve. The channels for divine provision open wide within and around you. I chant Aum and release every block. I am now aligned with the current of abundance. You tune into possibility. Each sound of Aum attunes your spirit to what is already waiting for you. You become aware of pathways, ideas, and openings. I hear abundance calling. I walk in the direction of divine wealth. You are seen in the field when you chant Aum. The quantum field sees you. It recognizes the pattern of your prayer and begins its return. The field responds to my fire. What I chant, I magnetize. Desire is no longer distant. Your desire is no longer outside you, it is within you, radiating outward. Aum unites the inner and the outer worlds. My desire and reality are one. I call wealth from the unseen into the seen. The flame knows the way. As you chant, the fire within becomes intelligent. It guides you, lights your path, and reveals your next inspired steps. I follow the warmth within. It leads me to the doors of my prosperity. You speak the first language. Aum is the original word, the voice of the beginning. As you chant, you align with the same power that spoke creation into being. I speak in the language of origins. With Aum, I create my abundant life. You are the spark of the divine. With every repetition of Aum, you remember your divine nature. You are not separate from the source, you are the spark within it. I ignite the divine spark in me. My abundance is a reflection of my origin. Your soul is heard. The quantum field does not need volume, only vibration. And as you chant, it hears the purest essence of your soul's longing. My soul vibrates with Aum. My deepest prayers are now fulfilled. You receive in stillness. After the chant, you sit in silence. But the silence is alive. It carries the echoes of Aum, now moving through reality on your behalf. I receive in peace. I trust the sacred fire I have stirred. My abundance is now flowing. As you meditate and chant Aum, you stir a desire, an inner fire, a sacred tapas that calls forth your invocations and prayers from the quantum field, condensing your desires into divine manifestation. You enter the sacred silence. In the stillness between each Aum, you feel the pulse of your desire awaken. The quantum field listens. It responds to your vibration. Your inner fire becomes your prayer. As I chant Aum, the divine hears me. My soul's longing becomes form. My abundance rises. You become the flame. You do not wait for prosperity, you become the fire that forges it. With each chant of Aum, your inner flame grows stronger, clearer, more magnetic. With Aum, I kindle the sacred heat. Abundance is drawn to my fire. Your breath becomes the bridge. Each breath you take becomes a golden thread connecting spirit and matter. You inhale the unseen and exhale manifestation. My breath is my bridge. With Aum, I receive divine wealth into this world. You speak in the voice of creation. Aum is the sound that built the stars. Now it echoes through your body, reshaping your life in the image of your prayer. As I chant Aum, I speak the language of abundance. My words summon golden streams. You are a living portal. You are not separate from the divine current, you are a vessel for its expression. As you chant, you open the gates of provision. I am the open door. Through Aum, abundance flows into every area of my life. Your desire becomes sacred fire. You no longer desire from lack, you desire from divine purpose. The fire you feel is of the soul. With Aum, I consecrate my desire. My abundance is sacred, aligned, and already mine. You enter the womb of creation with closed eyes and open heart, you chant Aum. You return to the place before form, where all is possible. In the stillness of Aum, my wealth is born. It flows to me through grace and alignment. Your voice becomes a vessel. Aum rises through your throat like golden fire. It becomes a river of sound that carves new realities from silence. I chant Aum and shape my destiny. I am the voice of fulfilled desire. You radiate prosperity as the heat within you builds, your aura changes. You vibrate with richness, and the universe responds. My energy calls forth my wealth. With Aum, I become a magnet for divine increase. You are seen by the field. The quantum field recognizes your resonance. It mirrors what you have become, luminous, abundant, open. With every Aum, I am seen. My abundance is recognized and delivered. Your fire illuminates the path. You no longer walk in darkness. Your inner heat lights the way. Divine strategy and inspired action now come effortless. My inner fire shows me the way. Aum reveals the next steps to my prosperity. You unite heaven and earth. Your chant of Aum rises to the heavens and sinks into the earth. You stand as the bridge between unseen potential and physical wealth. I stand at the center of worlds. Through Aum, I draw abundance from spirit into form. You rest in trust. You no longer chase. You draw. You no longer strive. You align. With Aum, you know you are heard. I trust the sacred process. As I chant Aum, abundance flows to meet me. You are the answered prayer. You are not separate from what you desire. As Aum vibrates through your cells, you realize, you are the prayer and its fulfillment. With Aum, I awaken the truth, my abundance already lives within me. You receive in radiance after the chant, there is only light. You are still, yet the entire universe moves for you. I receive in divine ease. I receive in divine joy. Aum has opened the floodgates of my abundance. As you meditate and chant Aum, you stir a desire, an inner fire, a sacred tapas that calls forth your invocations and prayers from the quantum field, condensing desire into form. The sacred fire awakens as you chant Aum, you awaken the sacred fire within your soul. This fire creates. It draws forth your deepest longings and places them in the hands of the quantum field. With each breath and sound, I stir the divine flame. Financial abundance is rising to meet me now. Your desire becomes light. You no longer suppress your desire, you sanctify it. With every AUM, your yearning becomes a radiant beacon calling provision into form. My desire is sacred. With AUM, it becomes light, and that light becomes wealth. Your voice moves heaven as you sound the primordial AUM, your voice harmonizes with creation. The unseen hears you and responds with miracles. My voice is a vessel of wealth. As I chant AUM, the field delivers divine prosperity. The quantum listens to feeling. It is not just your words that are heard, it is your frequency. Your feeling becomes the language the field understands. With AUM, I offer the vibration of trust, vision, and gratitude. Financial blessings flow to me now. You become a beacon of receiving. The more you chant, the more you open. You become a field of reception, a living magnet for divine increase. As I open through AUM, all channels of wealth are opened unto me. Your inner fire aligns the outer world. This fire is alignment. It purifies doubt and sharpens vision. It brings your outer world into resonance with your soul's wealth. With AUM, I purify, align, and prepare for the overflow. Heaven responds to your heat. Your tapas, the sacred inner heat, draws the attention of the cosmos. It answers you with reflection. I stir the flame, and heaven stirs for me. My abundance is assured. You release and receive. Each chant is an act of surrender and command. You release limitation. You receive possibility. As I chant AUM, I let go of lack and open to divine compensation. The sound of AUM reshapes the field. The sound you emit reshapes the geometry of your life. You are creating. With AUM, I rearrange reality. I shape wealth through sacred sound. You become a mirror of abundance in this prayerful fire. You become what you seek. Your aura becomes a mirror that reflects prosperity back to you. I embody what I call in. I radiate abundance, and it returns multiplied. You walk as the fulfilled one in this vibration. You walk in the world as one who already holds the treasure. The field moves to match your knowing. With AUM, I activate certainty. I live as one already provided for. Each AUM is a cosmic agreement. Each chant seals a covenant between your soul and the universe. It is a yes that echoes through all dimensions. I say yes to wealth, and the universe says yes to me. AUM is our sacred agreement. You birth wealth from within. Abundance is birthed. And your womb of creation is the fire of inner devotion. With each chant, I birth a greater reality. Financial abundance begins inside me. You are the living temple of provision. The altar is your heart, the flame is your feeling, and the chant is your offering. You are the temple where heaven gives. I am the temple of prosperity. With AUM, I receive divine supply. You are complete in the flow. There is nothing outside of you. As you chant, the field is stirred, and your reality becomes a river of grace. With AUM, I dwell in the stream of abundance. I receive with reverence, and I overflow. As you meditate and chant AUM, you stir a desire, an inner fire, a sacred tapas that calls forth your invocations and prayers from the quantum field, allowing financial abundance to form through your vibration and presence. The flame awakens as you settle into stillness and chant AUM, a sacred flame awakens within your being. It is a holy heat of creation. This inner fire now begins to rise, calling the abundance you have long felt, silently, into form. Desire becomes sacred. You allow yourself to feel desire without judgment. You honor it as divine. As you chant AUM, you transform desire into light, a signal the universe recognizes and responds to with financial provision. Your sound shapes reality with each AUM, you emit the original creative vibration. This sound carries your longing into the field, where infinite possibilities dwell. Now, wealth begins to stir, responding to your frequency. The inner fire speaks as the sacred heat rises within you, it speaks. It whispers visions. It delivers pathways. And all the while, the quantum field listens and moves. You are a temple of invocation, your body becomes the altar, your breath becomes the offering. With each AUM, you invoke the remembrance that wealth is already yours in the unseen. You are simply aligning with its arrival. Stillness becomes magnetism. In the stillness following your chant, you enter a field beyond time. Here, your energy is enough. Your being is a magnet. Financial increase is drawn to the clarity you now hold. Fire aligns the path. This sacred inner fire you stir as you chant knows your path. It begins to burn away what is false, what is lack. It clears space for the arrival of prosperity. The field is listening. The quantum field does not hear words. It hears states. As you chant AUM and embody gratitude, trust, and openness, the field begins to echo those energies back as tangible wealth. You are the signal. You are no longer waiting. You are emitting. Each AUM is a signal, a divine pulse. And financial blessings, contracts, ideas, connections, now begin their journey to you. Receiving becomes natural. You no longer resist. As you chant AUM, you shift into a state of permission. Now, receiving becomes as natural as breath. As inevitable as dawn. Creation through feeling. It is not your thoughts alone, it is your felt state that creates. With each chant, you amplify the feeling of already having. And the field must mirror that truth. Your presence becomes a portal. You are not separate from abundance, you are its doorway. As you chant and dwell in presence, that doorway widens. Opportunities, windfalls, and miracles begin flowing through you. AUM as the seed of wealth. AUM is not just a sound. It is a seed. As you plant it in the soil of devotion, it germinates. Its fruit is financial abundance, offered in perfect time. Tapas as creative power. The sacred heat, the tapas, that rises as you focus and chant, is the generator of wealth. You feel its pulse, and you know that your vision is becoming form. Union with the infinite. As you chant AUM, you dissolve into union with the quantum field. Here, you are not separate from wealth, you are one with its source. And from this union, all that you seek now seeks you. As you meditate and chant AUM, you stir a sacred desire, an inner fire, which summons your invocations and prayers from the quantum field, shaping your financial reality through vibration and spiritual alignment. AUM ignites the sacred fire. As you breathe deeply and chant AUM, you awaken the ancient fire of creation within. This sacred heat is your will, your desire, your divine yearning. It rises now, summoning abundance from the hidden field of all that is. Your breath opens the gate. With each breath and each chant of AUM, you open a celestial gate. Desire moves through that gate like a light beam of intention. And the quantum field responds, forming reality around your invocation. Stillness stirs the flame. In the stillness between each AUM, the flame grows brighter. It is the fire of becoming, the vibration of your true abundance. You feel it now, drawing wealth toward you from beyond the veil. Your voice commands the invisible. The moment you chant AUM, your voice touches unseen layers of reality. It travels through space and thought, stirring the formless into form. Abundance listens. And it comes. Desire is a divine signal. The desire you feel is sacred knowing. As you hold this desire and chant AUM, you signal your readiness. The universe responds with provision, pathways, and prosperity. Your inner fire is magnetic within your solar plexus, a golden heat stirs. Each AUM intensifies this fire, this sacred magnetism. Now wealth, opportunities, and resources are drawn to your flame. You enter the field of answers with every sacred chant, you drop deeper into the quantum field. This is the realm where all prayers are heard before spoken. And yours are already in motion. Sound becomes substance, you feel it, your sound, your tone, your chant, it shapes the unseen. AUM is the blueprint of all form. And through your vibration, money and miracles begin to take shape. Tapas, the inner alchemy. As you concentrate, as you feel, as you chant, the heat builds. This tapas, this sacred fire, is your alchemy. It transmutes invisible intention into visible wealth. You are the priest of your prosperity, your body is the temple, your chant the ritual. As you invoke AUM, you officiate your own transformation. You call forth financial blessings in the language of the soul. Every AUM resets your frequency. With each repetition of AUM, your frequency becomes clearer. You shed the static of doubt and the fog of limitation. Now your field radiates clarity, and abundance aligns with it. Your feeling is the fuel. You do not just chant, you feel. That feeling is your offering, your incense to the quantum field. And the field sends wealth in return. You awaken your ancient memory in chanting AUM, you return to your original knowing. You remember how to create, how to call, how to receive. That memory now becomes manifestation. AUM lights the path ahead. You cannot always see how, but AUM clears the way. Its vibration unveils the next step, the next idea, the next door. You walk forward now, led by the chant, toward greater prosperity. You are one with the creative field. AUM dissolves separation. You are no longer apart from wealth, you are immersed in its source. And from this state of unity, you receive with grace, ease, and overflowing joy. Chanting AUM stirs desire into sacred inner fire, calling forth your invocations and prayers from the quantum field into form. Each one can stand alone or be used in a sequence. The sacred spark awakens as you sit in stillness, breathing in and out. You let the sound AUM rise from your core. With each vibration, a sacred spark ignites within. That spark is your desire, becoming light, becoming fire, becoming a magnet for abundance. The flame of intention. You chant AUM with focus, and your inner flame begins to stir. It is the flame of intention, old as time, divine as the cosmos. This flame now reaches into the field of infinite possibility to call your financial blessings forth. Your sound moves the unseen. You allow the resonance of AUM to move through your body. Each vibration stirs the unseen layers of your reality. You feel your desire taking form, shaped by your breath, forged by your sacred fire. The quantum mirror responds as you chant. You enter the mirror of the quantum field. What you feel, what you speak, what you burn for within, is reflected back to you. You hold the vision of wealth, and wealth begins its return. Your heart as a prayer flame. You place your awareness in your heart and let AUM rise from it. Each repetition becomes a soft prayer, a glowing ember of faith. You feel abundance gathering, drawn to your heart's magnetic call. You are the channel of creation. You are no longer just a voice chanting, you are the channel through which creation flows. The inner fire you feel is sacred. It gives birth to form. Abundance is now forming around your flame, shaped by your trust. Your inner temple awakens. You close your eyes and enter the temple within. There, in silence and chant, your desire meets the sacred heat of AUM. In that meeting, your financial prayers take shape and are sent forth into the field. You stir the waters of manifestation with every AUM, you stir the still waters of the quantum. Ripples form. Those ripples are your words, your visions, your longings. And from those sacred waves, the shape of prosperity begins to rise. Chanting as a celestial command, you chant as a co-creator. Each sound is a command written in light, woven into the fabric of space. Abundance listens to your command and comes swiftly. You feel the response begin with each breath, you chant AUM, and you feel the quantum respond. It is subtle, like the hush before a great rainfall. You trust. You know. The blessing has already begun. The golden flame within as AUM vibrates through your chest, a golden flame appears in your solar plexus. This is the fire of personal power and divine co-creation. You offer it your desire, and it offers you wealth in return. The field bows to your frequency as your chant deepens, your frequency rises. The quantum field recognizes your tone, your faith, your devotion. It opens its arms, pouring forth abundance in exact response to your vibration. You are held in the cosmic current, you allow your body to float within the vibration of AUM. You are held, carried by the current of creation. And all your invocations, especially for financial freedom, are heard and delivered. Each AUM is a seed of gold you plant sound into the space around you. Each chant, each AUM, is a golden seed of wealth. You trust that what you plant now will grow into overflowing provision. You merge with the abundant one as your mind becomes still and your chant continues, you merge with the abundant one. That which lacks no thing. That which gives all. And as you rest in this union, abundance flows to you without resistance. As you meditate and chant AUM, you stir a sacred desire, an inner fire, that calls forth your invocations and prayers from the quantum field. These inductions gently lead your awareness into deeper states while anchoring the frequency of financial abundance. Enter the still flame as you breathe gently and chant AUM, you feel a warmth awakening in your belly. This is the still flame, the sacred heat of your longing. It grows brighter with every breath, calling financial abundance into form. The chant that shapes reality, you allow your voice to vibrate softly. AUM. Each repetition sends your desire like a beacon through the unseen. Abundance listens. Prosperity begins to shape itself around you. The golden thread of AUM with closed eyes, you follow the golden thread of AUM inward. It leads to the center of your being, where your purest desire lives. And from that center, light flows outward, calling your financial prayer into being. The fire beneath the wish, you chant AUM slowly, reverently. With each sound, you feel the fire beneath your wish, the divine yearning for more. That fire now reaches into the quantum, pulling wealth toward you. AUM as a portal to receiving. As you settle deeper into yourself, AUM becomes a portal. It opens you, not only to peace, but to reception. You are now open. You are now ready. Abundance comes. The sacred current within you, you breathe in deeply and let AUM rise from your solar plexus. This sound, this breath, becomes the sacred current of creation. It carries your desire into the infinite, where wealth waits to return. The quantum field responds to fire you chant with presence, and your inner fire responds. It glows softly, then fiercely, summoning your intention. The quantum field cannot ignore you now. Your prayer is alive. The heat of manifestation, you feel warmth growing in your core. It is the heat of manifestation. Each AUM feeds this fire, and the fire shapes your desire into financial form. The echo of the universe as you chant, you are not alone. Your voice echoes in the vast unseen places. And in those echoes, financial abundance begins to move toward you. Magnetized by sacred sound, you sit in stillness, chanting slowly. Each sound charges your field, magnetizing you to wealth. You become irresistible to abundance. The light in your prayer, you let AUM rise from the light in your chest. That light holds your true intention, your sacred prayer for overflow. Now, the universe begins to respond in exact resonance. The flame that beckons gold within your sacred silence, a flame appears, pure, golden, clear. This is the flame that calls in wealth. Each AUM feeds it. Each breath stokes it. You are now aligned with receiving. The stillness that draws riches, you enter deep stillness now, chanting gently. In this stillness, your vibration rises. You become a tuning fork for financial increase. Desire as a divine architect, you feel desire in your belly, pure, focused. This desire is design. It builds. It creates. You chant AUM, and this desire now constructs the path to your wealth. The return of what you've spoken each time you chant AUM, you send your invocation forward. You trust. You wait. And now, you feel the returning wave. Your abundance is coming home. As you meditate and chant AUM, you stir a desire, an inner fire within the solar plexus, that calls forth your invocations and prayers from the quantum field. Each induction is designed to gently guide you into a receptive, relaxed state where your intention for financial abundance aligns with the creative powers of the quantum field. Awakening the solar flame, close your eyes and breathe deeply. As you begin to chant AUM, feel the center of your body, the solar plexus, begin to glow. A sacred fire stirs there, fueled by your desire. It is this inner flame that calls your abundance into form. AUM and the gold within. As you chant AUM, golden light gathers in your solar plexus. This light is ancient. This light is power. It rises with your breath and carries your financial prayers to the quantum realm where all is possible. Summoning from the center, you breathe. You chant. You soften. Your solar plexus warms as if touched by a star. Your intention flows from this center, and the universe listens. The solar portal AUM opens a portal in your belly, a radiant gate of light. Your desires become prayers here. Your longings become signals. You are now transmitting abundance from the depth of your being. The spark that speaks, you feel a spark of desire deep in the solar plexus. As you chant AUM, that spark grows into a flame. And from this flame, your soul speaks its wealth into the world. The flame of receiving with every breath and chant of AUM, the inner fire grows steadier. You feel your body soften into alignment. The solar flame now calls forth riches from the unseen. Your abundance code, you chant AUM slowly, and feel your solar plexus respond. A warmth begins to pulse, a rhythm unique to your soul. This is your abundance code being activated. The furnace of manifestation AUM echoes through your body like waves of light. In your solar plexus, a sacred furnace begins to burn. It melts fear. It refines desire. It manifests wealth. The fire that knows. As you chant, you trust. The fire in your solar plexus knows your true desire. It calls without words, and the quantum field answers. Aligning with divine currency, you breathe into your solar center, chanting AUM. Each vibration attunes you to divine currency. You become an instrument for financial flow. The inner sun AUM awakens the inner sun within you. Its rays stretch through your body, through time, through dimensions. They carry your prayer of abundance across the quantum field. The heat of faith. Feel the warmth of faith in your solar plexus. Chant Aum and let that warmth expand. Your faith becomes fire, and that fire shapes destiny. Aum is a golden key. Each repetition of Aum is a golden key. It unlocks the gates of the solar center, where your magnetic power lives. You are now attracting abundance from your core. Where power meets prayer, your solar plexus is the seat of power. When you chant Aum, it becomes the seat of prayer. From this fusion, miracles begin to take shape. Receiving from the flame, the fire within you no longer waits. It is alive. It is calling. It is reaching into the quantum field. And now, as you chant, you begin to receive. As you meditate and chant Aum, you stir a desire, an inner fire within the solar plexus, that calls forth your invocations and prayers from the quantum field. Each induction is crafted in the second person to help guide your consciousness deeper into a receptive state of alignment with wealth, energy, and divine potential. The flame awakens as you settle into stillness and begin to chant Aum. You feel a stirring within. Your solar plexus glows softly, responding to the sacred sound. With each breath, you fan the inner flame of your desire for financial abundance, and that flame begins to speak to the quantum field. Chanting the shape of wealth as the vibration of Aum flows through your body, you sense a shape forming, a geometry of wealth inside your belly. Your solar plexus becomes a vessel of invocation. You are calling abundance into form with the sound of your soul. Inner fire, outer riches. You breathe into the fire of your solar plexus and let Aum rise with the exhale. This sacred fire refines. It purifies your prayers until they vibrate with clear abundance. The universe receives them and begins to respond. The power center calls. Your awareness rests in your solar plexus. Aum reverberates through your core like a bell in a temple. This is where your power gathers, and from here your wealth is summoned. The flame that hears you do not need to force or push. You chant. You breathe. You focus. And the flame within your solar plexus hears you. It rises with your will, summoning abundance from beyond the veil. Breathing fire into form as you chant Aum, your breath fuels the fire of your intention. Desire is no longer hidden, it has become flame. And this flame begins to take shape in the world around you. The sacred engine of prosperity, the solar plexus, your sacred engine, begins to turn. The chanting of Aum is the ignition. You awaken ancient circuitry meant to manifest. And now it manifests abundance in your name. Quantum response. Aum moves like a pulse through the cosmos. Your solar plexus opens as a gateway. Through it, you project your prayer. And through it, the quantum field answers in kind. Light in the center. You place your awareness in your solar plexus and see golden light. You chant Aum and feel the light swell. This is the light of becoming. It holds the form of every financial breakthrough you are ready to receive. The flame that builds worlds in the quiet of your breath. You chant Aum and awaken a silent power. It begins as a flicker in your solar plexus, then grows into a creative fire. This fire builds the world of your abundance from the inside out. Calling currency from the ether with every breath and vibration of Aum, you reach into the ether with feeling. Your solar plexus is the bridge, and through it, you summon the energy of financial flow. Soul-warmed wealth. You allow the warmth to grow. The solar flame, lit by your sacred chant, warms your desires. And through that warmth, the universe feels your readiness to receive. The alchemy of desire. As you chant Aum, your desire melts into light. That light gathers in your solar plexus, and from there, it reforms as guidance, opportunity, and gain. Fire as the signature. Each time you chant Aum, your inner fire leaves a signature in the quantum field. It carries your name, your desire, your frequency. And now, that field is arranging your wealth to match your inner fire. Aum as the golden summon. You chant Aum as a golden summon. The fire in your solar plexus is the messenger. It carries your voice to the unseen, and the unseen responds with treasure aligned to your truth. As you meditate and chant Aum, you stir a desire, an inner fire within the solar plexus, that calls forth your invocations and prayers from the quantum field. Each induction is crafted to gently lead you into a receptive, magnetic state of abundance, awakening your inner fire, and aligning your frequency with the divine field of supply. The inner fire awakens as you close your eyes and begin to breathe deeply. You feel a quiet warmth in your solar plexus. With each Aum, the warmth deepens into a radiant fire, a fire made of your sacred desire. This flame calls forth abundance from the unseen, and the universe listens. Chanting from the solar core with each slow breath, you chant Aum, and feel the resonance gather in your belly, where desire becomes fire and prayer becomes vibration. Your solar plexus is a sun, casting signals into the quantum field, inviting wealth to form around your light. The vibration of desire. You breathe in peace, and as you breathe out, you chant Aum. The sound travels through you, gathering intensity in the center of your being. Here in your solar plexus, you feel the vibration of desire begin to shape reality itself. A sacred summoning. As you rest in stillness and let the sacred sound of Aum rise, you feel your inner flame responding. The fire within your solar plexus becomes a beacon, sending your financial prayers into the fabric of creation. The furnace of focus. With your breath steady and your chant clear, you ignite the ancient furnace within. This is the fire of tapas, sacred will. Your solar plexus burns clean with purpose, and from this fire, abundance begins to take shape. Breath of gold. Each time you breathe, you inhale possibility. Each time you chant Aum, you exhale light. That light gathers in your core, and the fire that lives there transforms your desire into golden strands of financial flow. Chanting open the gates. With each Aum, you feel the gates of abundance creaking open inside you. Your solar plexus becomes the key, its warmth and light matching the frequency of every opportunity now seeking you. The word that sparks creation. You speak Aum into the silence as a vibration. And that vibration stirs the creative flame in your belly. This is the word that moves worlds. And it moves in your favor. The prayer of fire. You allow your awareness to rest on the flame in your core. You chant Aum and feel it grow as sacred code. This code awakens divine memory, that you are meant to live in overflow. Alchemy of the center. With your focus steady, your breath relaxed, you allow Aum to enter the furnace of your solar plexus. There, your hopes and desires melt into the quantum field and return as gold, ideas, pathways, provision. Willing the wealth. You feel the warmth of intention building in your core. You breathe into it, and then chant Aum. This sound is a command. A magnetic will that shapes abundance from thought. Golden embers of receiving. You rest your hands on your solar plexus. You feel it glow beneath your palms. Each Aum feeds the fire, and each ember becomes a signal, a message to the quantum field that you are ready to receive. Fanning the flame of fortune with gentle focus, you chant Aum. The vibration reaches your center, where it meets the fire of your truest desire. As this fire grows, you fan it with belief, and the universe responds with treasure. Chanting into the field is within. Each Aum you chant rings through the body of the quantum field. And the solar plexus becomes your sacred instrument, broadcasting frequencies of wealth, clarity, and divine return. Becoming the flame. Now you go deeper, not just feeling the fire, but becoming it. You chant AUM, and the fire in your core becomes intelligent, aware, creative. It calls forth exactly what you need. It creates exactly what you ask. As you meditate and chant AUM, you stir a desire, an inner fire within the solar plexus, that calls forth your invocations and prayers from the quantum field. Each induction leads you gently into a sacred space where the fire of your desire becomes the beacon of manifestation. The awakening flame, you begin to relax. Your breath deepens. And as you chant AUM, a warmth begins to gather in your solar plexus. This is the sacred fire of your desire, and it is awakening now. It stirs the quantum field to remember your name. It begins to answer your call for abundance. The voice of fire, with every repetition of AUM, you send a ripple into the unseen. Your inner flame listens, grows, and responds. This is your fire speaking to the universe, and the universe answering back in wealth. The solar temple within you drop into the quiet space behind your breath. And in your center, you find a temple of golden light. Your solar plexus becomes a sacred flame. As you chant AUM, you offer your desire into that flame, and it sends your prayer into the quantum sky. AUM, and the flame of receiving AUM flows from your lips like a river of sound. It enters your body, pools in your solar center, and lights the fire of financial receiving. This is activation. Your inner fire burns with the vision of overflow. Quantum echo: with each AUM, your desire echoes through the fabric of space. From your solar plexus, the fire glows, and the field responds. It begins to gather every resource, every opportunity, to match the power of your prayer. The magnet of desire: you focus gently on your solar plexus, and you breathe into it like fanning a sacred flame. Each AUM you chant becomes an invocation, each desire a magnetic pull, and abundance cannot help but draw near. The flame that shapes form: you chant slowly. AUM, and with each sound, your solar fire grows steady. Here, in this heat, your prayers are forged into form. Here, the quantum field listens with devotion, ready to return every request in multiplied measure. AUM as invitation: as you chant AUM, you are inviting. You are welcoming wealth from the field, by lighting the lamp in your solar center. The warmth of your desire becomes a doorway. And through it, abundance walks in. Stillness, and the flame: you settle into stillness, and yet, something ancient stirs inside. A flame, hidden behind the navel, rises with your breath. Each AUM feeds it. Each intention fuels it. And your vision begins to manifest. The pulse of prosperity: with closed eyes, you feel the subtle pulse in your belly. The solar plexus, your sacred engine. You chant AUM, and that pulse brightens. Desire becomes light. Light becomes prayer. And prayer becomes provision. Chanting the invisible into being, you place a gentle hand over your solar plexus, and as you chant AUM, you feel the fire beneath your palm. This is your furnace of creation. What you long for now flows out as light encoded instructions into the field. The sacred generator: you are a sacred generator of wealth. And your solar plexus is the heart of that engine. You chant AUM, and the engine awakens. The fire stirs. And the field begins to bend toward you. From flame to form AUM. The word echoes from your lips into the field. The flame in your core hears it and rises. Now, the wealth you once imagined starts to take shape in the ether, moving closer with every breath. Chanting abundance into the now you are creating. Each AUM you chant stirs a sacred fire. And that fire sends your desire forward like a beacon, pulling abundance into this moment. Solar light, quantum prayer: now your whole being is attuned. your breath, your chant, your focus. The solar plexus glows like a star, and the light of your longing travels deep into the quantum field, gathering gold to return to you. As you meditate and chant AUM, you stir a desire, an inner fire within the solar plexus, that calls forth your invocations and prayers from the quantum field. Each one gently guides you into alignment with financial flow through the sacred frequency of AUM and the activation of your inner fire. The ember awakens you. Breathe slowly now, deeper. And with each breath, you chant softly, AUM. As you do, the center of your being, your solar plexus, begins to glow. A sacred ember is awakening. This ember is your desire, ancient and holy, and it begins calling your financial prayers into form. The quantum invitation: you place your awareness at your solar plexus, and gently chant AUM. As the vibration rises from your voice, you feel the stirring of a sacred fire. This fire is your invitation to the quantum field, and wealth begins to move toward you. The sacred generator: with each AUM, you feel energy building in your core. The solar plexus becomes a radiant sun, burning with purpose, glowing with possibility. This is your sacred generator, turning desire into light, and light into financial flow. Inner fire, outer gold: you chant AUM, and your inner world responds. A flame rises in your solar plexus, fueled by your focused desire for abundance. As the fire grows, the outer world begins to shift. Gold is drawn to you, as if remembering its master. The fire that speaks: you close your eyes and return to the breath. AUM. The sound moves through your body like a wave of light. Your solar plexus answers with warmth. It is the place where prayer becomes magnetic. Where fire speaks the language of the quantum field. AUM as currency: each AUM you chant is a sacred currency, an offering into the invisible. And in return, your solar fire brightens. You are exchanging sound for substance, desire for wealth, vibration for form. The solar portal: you relax and feel the pulse of your solar plexus. It opens like a portal with each AUM. From this portal, your deepest intentions rise, and they are heard. They travel into the field as codes of wealth. You have summoned them. Desire in the furnace: desire is fire. And you feel it now, deep in your center. You chant AUM and feel the furnace of your solar plexus. Your desire glows with creation. It calls forth money, resources, and solutions. AUM and the fire of vision: as you chant AUM, you focus on the feeling of financial overflow. That image lives inside your belly. It burns as vision in your solar fire. The quantum field reads your signal and rushes to meet your clarity. The echo of power: you whisper AUM and listen inward. The echo returns as a deepening flame within. This echo is your power returning. And with it, financial miracles gather near. The flame of receiving: you focus on your breath and place a hand gently on your solar plexus. With each AUM, the flame of receiving rises. You are now aligned with wealth. The quantum field listens and responds with unexpected blessings. Fire into form: the more you chant, the stronger the fire. The stronger the fire, the clearer your signal. And the clearer your signal, the faster wealth begins to form around you. You are shaping energy into income. Breath into bank. Command of the flame: you were born with this fire inside you, this flame of command. You chant AUM to summon. To activate what already belongs to you. Your financial path lights up from within. Solar power, soul wealth: as you meditate and chant, you realize this is not just breath and sound, this is soul power. Your solar plexus becomes a star. And this star transmits wealth frequencies that return to you multiplied. Abundance through fire you breathe, you chant, you ignite. The fire in your belly responds like a sacred beacon. Every desire, every prayer, rises in light. And the quantum field returns what you already are: abundance, overflow, prosperity. Chanting and breathing AUM stirs the inner fire in the solar plexus, which magnetizes your desires from the quantum field. Mystical invocation of solar abundance through AUM. In the beginning was the deep humming breath of spirit, the undying, unstruck sound. AUM. From this womb of vibration, all worlds were born, and within you now, that same vibration stirs, awaiting your breath, your voice, your will. So you enter the temple of your own body. You bow inward to the altar beneath your ribs, the solar plexus, the sun within. It is here that your desire becomes sacred fire. It is here that wealth is first born in current, in glow. O sacred fire of the solar word, as I breathe and chant AUM, I call upon the rivers of divine flow to awaken in me the memory of infinite provision. Let this breath stir the ancient embers. Let this chant open the seal of sufficiency. Let the flame of purpose rise within me, a radiant spiral, golden and alive. By the power of AUM, I summon it abundance. I radiate them riches. I become the living torch of attraction, drawing into my field every form of supply that mirrors the purity of my prayer. O AUM, sound of the seers, breath of the Brahman, key of the Christ light, ignite the will within my core. May the fire of divine desire within me meld with the quantum field of all that is, bringing forth my highest provision with grace, speed, and sacred alignment. I stand now as the ancient ones once stood, rooted in breath, aflame with clarity, woven into the lattice of all creation. What I speak becomes form. What I feel becomes substance. What I believe, I receive. AUM. 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 So it is. So it is. So it is. May the fire within me never be extinguished. May the wealth of the heavens meet me here on earth. Your eyes are not just windows, but instruments of resonance, sensitive to the emotions that flow through our being. They are active interpreters. The eyes is attuned to the emotions we summon, they see the world as we feel it to be. Every experience we have is, in truth, a concentrated desire, an echo of a feeling once held deeply. Moments are born from the subtle charge of emotion we carry within. The eyes, steeped in these feelings, are lenses shaped by vibration. When we focus our eyes on the feeling of optimism, they begin to perceive probability. Suddenly, the path reveals itself as the light. Solutions begin to emerge because the emotions behind the gaze changed. The eyes adjust their aperture to the field of infinite outcomes, and like a compass, they direct our attention toward what could be. Likewise, when we look through the emotions of abundance, the eyes become more than sight, they become channels of strategy. They draw down inspirations like rain from a fertile sky. Ideas arrive precisely in harmony with the vibration we are willing to see through. In this space, abundance is an emotion, a frequency we can dwell in, focus into form, and act upon. To feel with the eyes is to create with clarity. To look upon the world through inner resonance is to open a dialogue with the quantum fabric of reality. So what are your eyes feeling today? Look gently. Feel deeply. And remember, what you choose to feel through your eyes, you begin to see into being. Since the earliest whispers of human memory, the eyes have been regarded as more than instruments of sight, they were known as vessels of the soul, luminous gateways between the seen and the unseen. In the mystery schools of Egypt, the Eye of Horus was not merely a symbol of divine protection but a map of perception, of consciousness itself, a recognition that the eye did not only receive light, but translated the feeling behind that light into reality. The sages of old understood what modern minds are just beginning to remember, that feelings are the architects of experience, and that the eyes are exquisitely sensitive to these inner tides. In Babylonian star temples, where priests gazed at the constellations to interpret fate, they did not merely look outward, they attuned their inner feelings to the movement of the heavens. Their vision was participatory. What they felt shaped what they saw. Their eyes, steeped in reverence, became instruments of divine correspondence. In the Vedas, it was written that the eyes of the seer did not just reflect truth, they revealed it, because they were focused through tapas, a sacred inner heat of desire fused with clarity. And in the teachings of early mystic Christianity, Christ's words echoed with hidden wisdom, "If thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light." The single eye, the focused, emotional eye, was the portal to illumination, to a world aligned with divine possibility. When we focus the eyes upon the feeling of optimism, the ancient circuitry of the soul awakens. The eye begins to trace pathways invisible to logic, routes of potential, roads of subtle opportunity, and doors once hidden behind the veil of fear. The eye, when attuned to such inner light, becomes a scrying mirror, reflecting the world as it could be. And when the eyes are filled with the feeling of abundance, they begin to shimmer with a silent intelligence. From the mystery of feeling, they draw down strategy. From the unseen storehouses of the soul, they summon architecture, ideas, inspirations, blueprints for prosperity. Like ancient prophets receiving visions upon mountain tops, the modern mystic receives insight by focus, by gazing through the lens of abundant feeling. What we call experience is but a condensation of emotion, a crystallization of inner frequency. The eyes do not simply witness this process, they guide it. They are the anointed servants of the heart's deepest longing. They respond to what we feel, and in turn, shape what we see. In this way, the eyes are not merely part of the body, they are part of creation itself. They are the tools of the ancient alchemist, the priest, the mystic, the visionary. And when used with sacred feeling, they become the bridge between inner truth and outer form. So let the eyes feel. Let them be filled with optimism, with possibility, with abundance. And they shall reveal a world worthy of the soul that sees through them. In the ancient lands where spirit and matter were not yet divided, where the breath of the cosmos still stirred in the hearts of sages and seekers, there existed a fire lit by will, by longing, by divine hunger. This fire was called tapas, the sacred inner heat. Tapas is not merely heat as the world knows it. It is the spiritual combustion that arises when the soul begins to turn inward, when desire is no longer for the fleeting, but for the eternal. In the early Vedic traditions of India, tapas was the very womb of creation. The Rig Veda tells of the primordial one who, alone in the beginning, generated the cosmos through the intensity of tapas. Creation itself was born from the heat of focused consciousness. To the rishis, the seers who heard the hymns of the cosmos vibrating through the ethers, tapas was the fire of transformation, the force that could transmute human limitation into divine vision. It was cultivated in silence, in stillness, in relentless devotion. One did not chase the world, but turned inward and let the world come forth from within, purified by the flame of intent. In yogic law, the great sages and ascetics performed tapasya to burn away the veil that clouded the soul's memory. Through tapas, the inner sight cleared. Through tapas, the very substance of the body began to change, becoming a vessel for higher light. In this sacred heat, the ego softened, illusions cracked, and truth emerged like gold refined by fire. In ancient Himalayan caves and forest hermitages, Mystics sat motionless for years, radiating a subtle warmth that animals and elements respected. This warmth was the radiance of inner resolve, of a spirit aligned with the divine pulse of the universe. Tapas was their offering. A sacrifice density. A burning away of all that was not real. The tapas of the ancient or ascetic lives within you. Every time you hold to your vision through strong emotions, every time you breathe and choose stillness, you stoke that sacred flame. Every time your heart aches for the truth of your being, and you refuse to settle for less, tapas burns quietly within. It is the warmth behind perseverance, the heat behind inspiration, the sacred fire of spiritual becoming. Even the stars were born of tapas, concentrated force, silent gravity, eternal pressure turned into light. So sit with it. Fan your inner flame with sincerity. Let the fire of devotion rise within your chest. Let the heat of focus burn through distraction. Let the sacred inner heat guide your evolution from spark to flame, from flame to star, from seeker to sage. For in the end, tapas is the fire of the soul longing to remember itself, and in that remembrance, the whole universe is reborn. Here's a deep mystical historical contemplation weaving together the themes of Vedic tapas, the inner heat of desire, the single eye, the feeling eye, and the ancient circuitry of perception. Mystical contemplation, tapas, the inner heat of desire and the eye that feels. In the sacred memory of the Vedas, before the world had name or form, there stirred a silent pressure in the heart of the One. That pressure, of divine desire, generated tapas, the inner heat. It was this heat that brought forth the cosmos. Through focused, feeling intention. Tapas is not mere asceticism. It is the primordial fire of becoming. It is the pressure of longing when the soul turns inward and ignites itself with purpose. In the Vedic vision, creation itself is a product of concentrated desire, held in place by unwavering inner vision, by what the ancients would have called the single eye. This eye, spoken of in the mystery teachings of many paths, is the eye of devotion, the eye of fire, the eye that feels rather than merely sees. It focuses on essence. And through it, the soul aligns with the circuitry of the eternal. This is the ancient circuitry the rishis spoke of mystical. A subtle wiring of perception that connects the inner world of longing with the outer world of manifestation. The sages understood that the eye, when fused with tapas, becomes a conduit for shaping reality. It doesn't just see the world, it transmits feeling into it. It impresses desire into the field and reflects that desire back as experience. When the single eye is directed through the heat of tapas, it sharpens into clarity. It stops wandering. It begins to perceive with sacred precision. And in this convergence, of desire, heat, and vision, the soul begins to co-create with the divine. This is the ancient way. This is the ancient circuitry the rishis spoke of mystical. A subtle wiring of perception that connects the inner world of longing with the outer world of manifestation. The sages understood that the eye, when fused with tapas, becomes a conduit for shaping reality. It doesn't just see the world, it transmits feeling into it. It impresses desire into the field and reflects that desire back as experience. When the single eye is directed through the heat of tapas, it sharpens into clarity. It stops wandering. It begins to perceive with sacred precision. And in this convergence, of desire, heat, and vision, the soul begins to co-create with the divine. You are wired with this same circuitry. Your eye, when focused through emotions, through the heat of longing for truth, for beauty, for abundance, becomes luminous. It sees probabilities as possibilities. It sees seeds in the unseen. And it draws them forth with the gravity of intention. The eye that feels is the forgotten tool of the mystic, It is the organ of perception that speaks directly to the quantum fabric. It bypasses logic. It burns with tapas. And through it, desire condenses into experience. So gather your vision. Hold it gently in the flame of your longing. Let your inner heat rise with sacred stillness. Let your single eye look inward in radiance. And from that fire, let creation respond. For what you feel through your eye, you send into the field. And what you send into the field, returns, as reality, as form, as the world shaped by sacred fire. You said,